I can't work in a 9 to 5. I can't do it. You're living somebody else's dream as a W-2. And that's just, it's black and white. You know, it might piss people off me saying that, but that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not living somebody else's dream anymore. I'm living mine.
Let's get fiscal. Let's get fiscal. Make it make sense. Money moves smarter when the numbers click.
Hey guys, welcome back. We have our first guest on the pod. We have Matthew Diana here from Mind to Money Capital. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am fabulous. I got a compliment today, so running on that high.
Oh yeah.
So I figured for like how our conversation will go and stuff today is kind of like how we do like our new client intro calls, and I do always like to preface that it's a little bit like therapy because we do have to get kind of personal and whatnot. But I usually start off with like, you tell us about yourself and like kind of where you're going and about your business or businesses in your case, and yeah, what you all do there.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I started with a nutrition and fitness company. So I'm a personal trainer, nutritionist. I got my certifications probably 8-9 years ago now.
Okay.
And I've always just been like a really fit person that's just like kind of been into the nutrition side of things, because when I was younger I realized what the food was doing to me, because I'd eat like, well, they're better now, but like, not to hate on them, but Panda Express, I would like eat Panda and be like, oh, this is amazing, but then I'd be asleep for like the next 2 hours. Where like, you know, the food I eat now, it's like I'm energetic, I stay productive and efficient, and I'm able to continue to work on my things. But through the years, I saw that mindset was lacking in a lot of people, including myself. So I kind of hit a point in my late 20s where I was like, I need to figure myself out and help that with other people, and along with, you know, finances and amongst other things. But, you know, as we all go through our 20s, we're discovering most of the time. So that kind of developed where I'm at now with the Mind to Money Capital business, which is kind of like the name, more of like an umbrella of like all the things that I do, which I call the 5 M's because I'm Matthew. So I have like a little creative side of me, being a musician and an artist. I just like creating things and being creative with those things, you know, not be so bland. So now it's, you know, mindset, money, meals, muscle, and music. But
I love that. That's awesome.
Ideally, music isn't just for everybody. It's more of like, that's my passion. So how can I help you discover yours and make it something that you can do 100% of the time, so that you feel like you're living the life that you should be living?
Okay. I mean, Matthew, now I'm like, well, let me start my therapy session because I want to find my passion.
Yeah, should we switch this around? But yeah, all in all, it's, you know, I never really considered it, but most people say, I guess I'm a life coach now. But it's just a lot of things that I like to do in life, and I'm just very passionate about it. So it gives me purpose. And I believe, you know, when people lack purpose, they lack happiness. So if you have a purpose in life, you have a direction, and if you have direction, you'll find happiness for sure.
Gotcha.
Because you're striving towards something.
Yeah. No, 1,000%.
Yeah.
So with your business, like where kind of like are you with this umbrella business? So I guess like, what have you done with it? Does it exist with the state? Like, is it completely separate of you? Like, what have you done on the financial and tax side of your business?
So it's an S-Corp.
Okay.
Yes. I luckily did run into a really good CPA. And so he's been helping me for about 8 years as well, kind of when I was like in this whole transition of my life.
Nice.
And so he's guided me correctly from what I can tell so far. So yeah, it's an S-Corp. Then the business that it was originally called, Live Till Death, is also an S-Corp, but I don't really use that. That's just kind of there. And I probably won't reinstate it. But like, I just reinstated Mind to Money Capital because I'm like, okay, this is the everything.
Yeah.
That goes, you know, everything else goes under it. So
nice. Okay. Yeah. And then how do you typically track your finances? Does your CPA do it, or like what software and stuff are you using?
He does it. But ideally, for the daily, I've set up a Google Sheets where it's kind of like, I would say ghetto and like old school. But it's what I got. But I just kind of watched a YouTube video a long time ago, and it's just like a Google Sheets where I have every single thing that goes in and out. You know, it's, you know, fixed expenses, adjustable expenses, or, you know, whatever, what have you. I'm not looking at it right now. I actually don't even look. I just kind of put it in now at this point. And then like a safety fund, and then like it'll like shoot out like your total amount of like what are you making at the end of the month once everything's put in, you know, what are you what's coming out of your account, and then the net from that as well.
That sounds great. Yeah. Like super organized.
I try to be, you know. It makes life easier.
I'm sure your CPA appreciates it as well. Yeah. You're like, okay.
It makes them a lot cheaper.
Our podcast guy has a drawer behind me that's just full of receipts.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So you're doing great.
Yeah. Well, it's nice too, because when you have all your, you know, your bank accounts, like that's kind of how I do it, is I just every morning, if I've spent something, I go onto my bank accounts and just add it to that sheet. And then I'll export, you know, 12 months of the sheets. And then he also has the all my bank accounts attached to his QuickBooks.
Okay.
So he's kind of like the guy that looks over it, like in a blimp above a stadium, essentially.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that he already has everything if it doesn't add up. And he'll be like, well, what's this? What's that? You know, what's deductible? Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff.
And then does he check yours? Like, do you check in with him every month, quarterly? How often do you actually talk to each other?
I would probably say like once a month.
Once a month?
Maybe more.
Okay.
Yeah, because I refer him so many people, because that's, you know, one thing that you guys could probably even talk about is that I talk to so many people that are doing their own taxes, and I was that person. And I'm like, you are leaving so much money on the table, and there's two things that are guaranteed in life. That's death and taxes. So you might as well get in control of the one that you can, and that's taxes.
That sounds a lot like you.
So find a good CPA.
I had rock and roll, you know?
I feel like I've heard that exact sentence from you. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just mind blowing like that. I picked up a book that kind of like changed everything for me as far as finances, called Tax Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright, who you guys might know is Robert Kiyosaki's tax advisor. And that book, I mean, for like regular people like myself, I wasn't reading at that point, but that started me reading a bunch of books now. I was like, this is so boring and so heavy. And then as I got to learn it more, I was like, this is actually freaking fantastic and like fascinating, because now I understand how taxes are working. But obviously, being a regular Joe, like you're not gonna like become a CPA because you read a tax book. Like you still, ideally, I like to know how it kind of works, so that when my CPA is talking to me, I'm not just like,
Yeah.
just do it, man.
Yeah.
Like I want to know how it works. Like, and I'll ask him to explain it to me too. So, 'cause I mean, I'm just someone that loves learning now, where before I didn't. So I'm glad that
it's
changed.
good when you ask the questions.
Exactly.
It's like me and her, we talk to each other, and then we do a lot of the same words and phrases and stuff. So then we know what we're talking about. But it is different when you're talking to someone that this is not their like, you know, day to day or whatever.
Absolutely.
And then you're just like, oh, I need to figure out how do I explain this in another way. Yeah. So no, that's good. Like, asking the questions is always great. Did you have like specific questions that like with regards to your business or different things that you've been working on or doing or anything like that?
I mean, I think this, for me, and I think other people that are in the music industry per se, I would have to ask, like, what do you think would be the best way to like set up the whole business as far as taxes is as a band? Because one thing I will say is I don't think a lot of musicians even think about a band being a business, but it is a small business. And once it gets a whole lot bigger, you should probably already have had that business set up. Because from what I've heard and being in the music scene myself, a lot of people will take from you, almost all of them. So,
yeah. Well, and especially like you have to remember that there's going to be IP that the band owns, because everything that it creates is this intellectual property that needs to be owned by someone or something. So if you have all of it registered with the state, that's its formation documents that spells out how everything goes, and it's all from the very beginning, then you don't have to worry about there being miscommunications or misconceptions later on that kind of break up and affect all of the interrelationships that make the band great, you know? So I think that's some of it too, is I tell people all the time, it's not necessarily about creating boundaries to stop you from doing things. It's about creating the boundaries so that you are communicating properly and you have the opportunities to move forward with other things. Because if everything is all set up and very, very clear from the beginning, then you don't have situations where like one person feels like they're giving more than what they're actually receiving and, all kinds of stuff like that. So, and especially even with finances, a lot of times when you say, okay, am I going to do this next big thing? You say, can I afford it? That's like most of everybody's like first thought is how do I actually afford that? And so financials and having a budget and being aware and looking at things every single day, now you have that answer of, yes, I can move forward versus like, I don't really know. I mean, I hope that I have enough money
I'll buy this drum set, but who knows?
Where does it come from? And I think too, I like a lot of what you said as well of, kind of taking it from that life coach perspective of, what is your passion? What are you actually doing? And where are you actually going? And that's kind of where we come into play with taxes, because we can say, okay, do you want to beef up your retirement? Do you want to have a portfolio? Do you want to have, what does your business look like in 10 years? Does your business look like it has a whole bunch of employees? Does it look like you've sold it somewhere? Or is it still you just kind of like living your best life and doing what you think is, but all of those are questions where people, like they get stuck in that daily grind. And they're like constantly working hard, and they're like in that survival mode, but they never actually stop and say like, okay, well, wait a second, where do I actually want to go, and what do I want to do with this, and what does life look like after I get out of that survival mode, And taxes will really kind of help you plan what a lot of those next steps look like, because otherwise, I mean, you've probably seen if you don't convert over to an S corporation when you need to, then you're paying all of it back to Uncle Sam. And then now all of that business growth just went to the government, or you're actually saying, okay, this is intentional. This is where I want to go, where I want to be. And you're ahead of the game, and you're actually able to say like, okay, and I'm going to choose where my money is going and how I'm going to invest it, and making sure that that's also in alignment with your own personal goals and things like that. So it's always what's interesting. So I guess like even with that, what do you see for your business in the next like 5 to 10 years? How have you kind of structured a lot of that planning?
I mean, right now I would say like honestly, I've been building it still. And that was the thing. It was like, I didn't know where it was going to go at first. I was just like, I'm just going to do nutrition and fitness because I love it, And then finding that deeper layer of, okay, the reason why these people are dropping off their programs and not following them is because they have the mindset's not there. So then I started to filter people in where I was like, okay, can you actually do this? Can you commit? Are you ready mentally to actually do the work that needs to be done? Because a lot of personal trainers, and I think this goes for like a lot of businesses, is that when you start bringing on clients and they start dropping off, it does not look good. It destroys your business, and it's not even you, because you're like, well, I'm doing everything, but it's like choosing the wrong person to date. Even if you've done the self work and you try to make it work, it could still be that person. And it takes two to tango, right? So you want to bring in clients that are going to make sense for you as well, because they're going to work with you, and it's going to look good for your business because they're actually following it. But there's also the whole, I say your body is your billboard. So if people follow to a T what I'm teaching them, they're not going to look exactly like me, but they will be fit and they will be healthy, and it's all about longevity for me. But as I've gone into the future with this business, it's like, I mean, I see it being something where, I don't know, I guess just like a life coach business, and probably just me running it. Yeah. Until, I can't, because one of the main things that I love doing is giving back to people and helping them. So as far as that, I wanted to grow it to a really big, level where it's like, I got tons of clients and stuff like that, where I might need employees and, maybe, but I mean, I'll be honest, like right now I'm just kind of like building it and seeing what's coming from that, reaching out to people that need help in the areas that I, coach in, and So far, it's just been a really cool ride, you know? So I don't know if that answers the question.
No, it does. Yeah, I really like what you said about like it being a relationship, because me and her have had these same kind of conversations of like what kind of clients that we're looking for, and like what excites us as well to then make us want to like move forward. So making sure that like what are the different ways to like prove that the new potential client is like willing to like show up and like give us the information for us to then move forward or different things like that. So I think that's really cool. How do you in your business choose the client? Like, how do you know if they're in that right mindset? Like, how does that usually go for you?
Usually like I'll get on like a consultation call.
Yeah.
But I also created another kind of ghetto thing, but a Google Forms kind of sheet.
That is not, because if they fill it out, it does mean they're serious.
Yeah, it helps a little bit. Fair. It's a little filtration system, I guess, lead generation. But I'm able to see like, where they're at, how serious they are, stuff like that. And then itself, them filling it out is good. But usually when I get on the phone, I can tell by the end of the phone call if this person is actually going to follow through with what they say. Not saying I'm like a mind reader or anything. After doing it so long, you pick up on things. And when I know someone's like open-minded and like really backs like what they say with their actions, you kind of just have that gut feeling, and it's intuitive. And I think you can build it over, many years. And I think I'm there where it's like, I'm not perfect, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I've gotten good enough to where I can pick on them like, okay, like I'll work with you. It's like it's like your closest friends. Like I would hope that you would be close, these people that you're close with are kind of the same vibe, are on kind of the same level. And that's why you mesh together, And again, going off of like choosing the right client, you'll know they're the right client because the synergy is just exploding between both of you. It's easy to, again, back to relationships, it's easy to talk to each other. So it's like, why work with someone that's difficult?
Yeah.
Just do the right thing and say, hey, I got somebody that I think it would actually fit better for you, which also dives into, having a network of people that do the same thing of you. And, because you would rather want to, I always say collaborate over competition. Now, healthy competition is great, if that's the mindset, because you're able to push each other further, but it's almost like the same thing as collaboration. I'm like, you're working together, so why don't you just collaborate? There's enough pieces to the pie. As long as you have the ingredients sitting around, you can make another pie. Oh my God. So it's just, but that's just kind of my take on it.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you say the same thing too, where it's just like, like when we're talking, we get to know you really well, just through like the amount of stuff that we like go through with the financials and stuff. We kind of know it all, and then us also having to ask you like, where do you want to be, can get really personal. Just like, hey, because sometimes it's family planning, and like sometimes it's marriage, and like purchasing a home and different things like that. So like you definitely want to make sure that like it's good. Like it's going to be a good situation between the two. It's just like, okay, no, you have to be comfortable with us. Otherwise, like it's not probably going to work because we won't have any idea.
And a lot of the things, especially with the way that taxes work, is it's all super gray. They say like, okay, you need to run a business and your expenses need to be ordinary and necessary. And you're like, okay, well, what does that even mean? Right? And so it's us like really understanding, where are you going? How are you trying to monetize this? And like, what is the purpose of some of that? Because, for one person, it'll look completely different, you know? And I always say like, like you have like a 7-Eleven, that's nice and easy for them to do, but like life coaching, that's going to look different. I mean, maybe you're doing like some yoga sessions and all of these other things to help support all of your clients, but it all kind of meshes together, and having somebody that can actually be there on the ground with you, that really understands what your intentions are with these different items can really help. I always say it's like we're working as a translator. So we're taking kind of like your thoughts and your goals and translating them into like this very structured kind of black and white way for the IRS to understand. And so, and like even talking to somebody the other day, they were, there's always that phrase of like, it takes a village in order to do everything. But you don't have to be born into that village, and there is nothing wrong with paying someone to be part of your village.
Oh, absolutely.
And, so that village can be made up of so many different things, and, really making sure that you are taking opportunities to bring people into your village to really grow and develop all of these different items, because like you said, you can do all of this on your own, but like the pyramids weren't built by one person. You know what I mean? Like if you want to build a big dream and you want to go out and you want to do these things, and even if that dream is like, I just want to have a 2-bedroom farm, it doesn't have to be like this, like Jeff Bezos kind of thing, but it can take more than one person, and, really making sure that you're leaning on the expertise of other people, because, everybody makes mistakes. But if you can have somebody that can say like, hey, you can skip over these 5 steps and, really rocket yourself, a lot further. Or even, like you said, just having somebody that you can be in your corner and you can bounce off ideas and really know like, okay, I am getting the best advice that's available to me at this point in time. And so that's going to help me make these like really strong, educated decisions that, you don't have to sit there and turn your wheels constantly. And that it's okay to reach out for that help. That everybody wants to do that. And I mean, like you said, you have the life coaching and, even CPAs, like we're kind of a little bit therapists in that way. Because, I mean, like a lot of people come to us, especially on that financial side, and it's very vulnerable actually opening up to someone and really saying like, okay, what does it take? And sometimes I say like, I'm in a position where I'm not telling someone yes or no. I'm saying this is what it takes to get to where you want to be. And then you get to decide like what that effort looks like. If you want to put in that effort and you want to go to that space, or you can decide, like maybe that's not really the direction that I want to go. But at least now you know what it's actually going to take, and you're not, again, like just, 5 steps ahead, but, taking 10 steps backwards because something else got mixed up, like you didn't, you created a band, you did all these like amazing things, but like there's no true owner of the IP. So then a manager can come in and take everything because, you like weren't thinking that foundational piece wasn't there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So are you part of a band, or are you a solo artist with being a musician? Like, do you do both?
So I tend to do both. I have a solo project that's just under my name, and then I've been doing that for a while. And then through the years, I've been in and out of many bands. I was in a band that I started. It was kind of like that situation too, where it was like, who's the owner of the band? Yeah, I'm the singer, but okay, and so I would say probably me and the bassist, because he was the backup vocalist and we were the most involved. But and that ran for about 10 years, and we got signed to a record label and then toured and stuff. And luckily no one really took advantage of us because we were smart enough. And I did have a family CPA at the time that wasn't the worst, but as I got older, I was like, kind of bad, but you did good enough. You did good, lad. But so
what lives have you lived? Because you just said you were in a tour. Like just like the little snippets that you're giving here. Yeah.
I like to drop breadcrumbs.
She does the same thing to me. Just drops random lore, and I'm just like, I've known you now for almost 10 years. Like, what do you mean? Yeah.
It's like I feel like you probably understand. Like I like to do a lot of things. I'm someone that uses my ears and just packs them, because I meet people that are in their 50s and 60s and don't know this and that. And I'm like, how do you, but you have to have empathy, and you're like, okay, like you're just not, I don't know, I guess driven as I am to do certain things. But I've just always been someone that's like, I want to do it all. Like we have one life, and maybe it's because I've had a lot of loss in my life with close people that in an early age, I was like, if I die tomorrow, I want to be like, oh, hell yeah, cool. I'm all right. So I'm just like pushing as hard as I can. And that's why I'm so into health as well, too. It's because I was like, I want to live as long as I possibly can, At least on like my part. I want to do my part. Because if a meteor comes down and just knocks me in the head and I'm done, I'm like, all right, well, I tried. I did it until I couldn't.
Well, I mean, I think it's good, like, always knowing that that's who you are at its core, because then you can kind of anticipate with that. So, like, having an umbrella company that gives you the maneuverability to, like create something randomly over a weekend and kind of like see how it goes.
Absolutely.
But it's also like we have to tell our clients, you have to be honest with yourself about what it is that you actually want. You know? Yeah.
I was just talking, I was in a meeting earlier with a loan officer, and she was telling me that she had a client where she just keeps setting up these new businesses, like LLCs and stuff, and then just like continuously files losses year after year, and new business after new business. HELOC is completely cashed out. Her house is upside down, and it's just like, she's completely entrepreneurial, obviously, but it's like, if you're not, this is what happens when you don't actually do the important part of being an entrepreneur. Like, yeah, I get it. You want to create this business and all the fun stuff, but then it's like, if you don't do the back end, which is the foundation, it collapses every single time. So it can be very scary, and it could lead you to like kill yourself, honestly. Like, it's you gotta you gotta protect yourself with this kind of stuff. So through a lot of mistake, I've learned that, as most of us do. You know?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like I have certain business owners, and they're just kind of like, I'm not necessarily only responsible for myself and for the employee, but also their family.
Absolutely.
And, like, how am I affecting all of these families around me, and like really taking that responsibility seriously? Because again, I mean, if you get like a crazy 6-figure bill from the IRS, like that could kill everything.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? And you have all of these people that are, even if you just say like my clients, that are relying on you and all of your support, and how do you really take that responsibility seriously and make sure that it stays on? And I think that that's kind of, I always harp on the difference between a business and a job, because a job is something that you work just every single day, and you just clock in and you clock out. But a business is like a living entity that can survive past where you are even, and really treating things in that mode of, like I say, like an S-Corporation is like a little child.
Yeah, I was going to say it's your baby.
Yeah. You have to like do all of the things. You have to file its own tax return and do your payroll and, checking on their finances and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, just being really just kind of mindful of that. And, I don't know. I think it's all.
It's scary. I don't know how you have that weight on your shoulders sometimes. I'm like, don't know if that could be me. It's a lot.
I don't know. I mean, I think, kind of there's always a price to like building something great,
of course.
And really finding your passion and being able to live your passion. And, so sometimes you just got to put up with the cost and kind of move forward. But yeah.
I mean, I get to work with my best friend out of it, so it's pretty nice.
Not so bad.
And I said that on camera. You're my best friend, yeah.
Now it's legit.
Now we're solidified.
We'll have like an asterisk. She is also Anastasia. One of those disclaimers at the bottom. So I guess when you're kind of thinking about your business and where you're going, and even if you're thinking about mentoring other people in your space, what would you say is the first thing if people are like, and because I think a lot of it happens kind of organically. Like you said, you found this thing that you were really passionate about that you also saw was a problem in other people. And you were like, you know what? I think I figured it out for myself. Maybe I can share it with other people. And then this is what you can really spend your life doing. But then you kind of suddenly wake up and you're like, oh, shoot, like, is this actually a business?
Yeah.
Is this like how I can actually, like live my life and survive? So I guess for other people that are kind of in that initial phase, what would you say was like the biggest thing for you to really kind of push you into that successful side of things versus like creating an LLC that has losses and all of that fun stuff?
So you kind of like saying like when it actually became like reality, like once it was all set up, it was like, okay, I really actually have to do this. I think it was just essentially the fact that I couldn't, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them would be like, I can't work in a 9 to 5. I can't do it. I've tried it over and over and over again. And, even being a bartender where it's a whole different thing, you're not in an office, you're moving around, you're dancing and, talking to people and shaking it. And even that's fun, But that gets too much as well, because if you become aware enough and conscious enough, you're living somebody else's dream as a W-2. And that's just, it's black and white. You know, it might piss people off me saying that, but that's what it is. And I was like, I'm not living somebody else's dream anymore. I'm living mine. And that is that was the main reason of why I kept moving forward. I was like, this is it, man. This is my life. This is my baby. I'm going to protect it. I'm going to grow it. And that's what I'm going to do with my life. And obviously it got a little deformed and, you know, probably grew a couple extra arms and legs I didn't expect. Here we are and we're dealing with it. But another thing I would say too is that there's something I wish I knew before all of it that is so important for people to know about. And it's one of the parts of the business that I do, which is the money side, the finances. And have you guys heard of the infinite banking concept? So the IBC stuff, I've been deep in that for probably the last 2 or 3 years now. And I just like hit myself in the ass, because if I knew about it, you know, when I started these businesses, it's the amount of money that I spent would still be compounding in my policy right now. And I would be even more well off to essentially be more helpful to more people, because I would be having more resources, and more means, you know, you can give more. So that's something I would tell people to, and it's not a sales pitch or anything. I'm just like, I wish I knew when I was 18. I wish my parents knew when I was a kid, you know, because it can essentially, you know, fund your life for life. So,
well, and I think it brings up, there's a lot of these like tips and tricks that people think are only for the 1% and for these like top income earners. But really, it only seems like that because they're the ones that already have the information.
Yes.
You know, so it's about knowing these things, asking the questions, because even in taxes, it's available to everyone.
Yeah.
You can do it at any level that you're at, as a kid, as a young adult, as as you have your own family, you can do these things, and it is available to you, and it's a lot more accessible. You just have to surround yourself with the village that can like actually support all of those things.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. There's a saying, I'm spacing on his name. I should know this, but it's, you know, one of the biggest problems in America isn't what people don't know. It's what they think they know that just ain't so. And that hit me really hard when I learned that, and I was like, holy crap. And you know, the clients that we get sometimes with the infinite banking concept, it's like the ones that are actually financially literate act like they know. And it's like, oh, I'm doing fine. But we work with millionaires, we work with billionaires, and the ones that are open-minded are like, oh my gosh, this is insane. I can make even more money. But essentially it's not about that. It's about, you know, protecting their family, creating generational wealth and helping others with that, you know, foundations, charities, stuff like that. So it's just, the reason I got into it was, again, I wanted to be free. I didn't want to, you know, I don't want a W-2. I don't want to live someone's dream. I don't want to be strapped down by financial, you know, chains. I want to just be able to wake up one day and say, I'm going to go on a pirate ship, you know?
I will let you know.
And that day's coming. Now that you told me about it. You know, I want to be Jack Sparrow, just drinking some rum and
just like exist. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's another tool, you know, and it can, I tell people, you know, a hammer can build a house, but it can also shatter a mirror. So you got to know how to use it. And that's what we do. You know, 95% of the time we're just educating and 5% is implementation. But I just want people to be free. That's, you know. Yeah. So.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah.
We agree. So, yeah, I mean, thanks for coming.
Of course.
We could talk forever. So
I know. I was like, we didn't really talk about how to close this out. So I was like, this could be a conversation that hangs out for a bit.
Good job, team. High five.
I know. It sounds like we all like to talk a lot.
Yep. So I hope you got a little bit more insight, and, you know, obviously a few conversations were had that now you can have questions and get more information. So feel free, put a comment below or reach out, and we are more than happy to speak with you. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys.
That's it for this episode of Let's Get Fiscal. If this helped you see your business differently, follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so the next episode is already waiting for you. And if a specific money question came up while you were listening, send it through the link in the show notes. Real listener questions help shape future episodes. You can also follow Let's Get Fiscal on social media for more tax tips, business finance breakdowns, and clips from the show. Until next time, keep building the business behind the work.